we can tweet about it.
It's true.
Uh,
You probably got a thing that said this meeting is being live streamed. I'm gonna click
Nope.
record.
Are you going to the Incomparable channel?
I am.
I don't
It
need
is-
to record,
Okay,
do I?
So it will.
You do not.
I'm going
I'm
to
record-
record. I'll
I
get
don't
it for
know.
the bootleg for you, Tony.
Okay. I am recording this meeting in Zoom, so we'll have kind of a backup bootleg, but we're not. We're doing more than that. And it looks like it should be in YouTube.
See about
Now.
The,
Total party kill .live. Oh yeah, there it is.
Did it already propagate? I can never. Sometimes it feels like it's instant. Sometimes it takes a little while.
Yeah,
Why am I
Total
not
Party
seeing
Kill.live is propagating faster these days than the incomparable.com/live, but it does get there eventually. Like when we did like Jason DM me when we were doing Dark Sun last night, it was like, oh, it's not live on the Incomparable page yet. And I was like, oh, I'll go in and put in the debug code. And by the time I had done all that, I was like, oh, it's there now.
Nice.
So
So should I tweet something from the TPK account or just wait
it
until
will do it. Give it at least a couple minutes because it
Okay.
should do it automatically.
Jonathan Polly found us. Hi, Jonathan Polly. I
Some
don't know if
people
I'm saying-
have alerts for
Yeah.
us set up.
I apologize if I'm not saying your last name correctly.
Sorry, some people have alerts for us set up. I thought in my head is like, like
Da-
APBs.
Danger, nerds. Yeah.
They're at it again.
Appropriate.
There are 4 people watching. Some of those may be you.
I haven't gotten there yet.
People that are here now. You're here early. Good job.
All right.
Wednesday morning tea time mini madness for Robert Watkins. I'm trying to do the math. So that Robert Watkins, that means that you are in
Australia.
yeah, Australia, New Zealand, or somewhere on the Pacific Rim. You don't have
Hopefully you're not
divulge your
fighting.
exact. You don't have to divulge your exact location to us.
Hopefully not fighting.
I need
kaiju.
GPS coordinates immediately.
Exactly.
Mm.
Credit card numbers, security
Mhm.
codes, postal codes,
We'll be right over, Robert. Leave the door unlocked.
relevant information.
Leave a light on for us.
Mm.
He's not a Motel 6.
Mm. Oh, Tom Bodette.
Has Robert ever been seen in the same room as a Motel 6? Because
There are multiple Motel 6s.
That's
Micah.
a good
That's
question.
a weird. It's a weird question. Has he ever been seen in a
That is a
Motel 6 room?
question.
Mm?
I think I've probably stayed in a Motel 6. I feel like I can't rule
Oh,
it
I've
out.
definitely stayed in a Motel 6.
Oh yeah, that was like our
sure.
go-to chain when I was growing up.
ours was Drury Inn.
Oh, I've seen those. I think that's a.
What
I think
is
that's a
what word
West
is
Coast thing.
that?
Now.
Drury.
Midwest.
why would you do that?
I don't know why you
Yeah.
would make a word like that. Drury.
Or-
It
Drury
sounds very
Inn.
sad.
It
Mhm.
was not
Dreary.
dreary,
It's-
but
It's very hard to pronounce.
I used to stay at a
Drury.
place called the Econo Lodge.
Yep.
That was
Mm.
I stayed at some of those.
Guys, everyone look cool. Jason Snell's here in the chat.
Oh, nobody.
Oh
wants
my
that.
gosh.
who?
Never avoid of them,
Just,
as my dad would say.
I don't think that is what your dad would say.
No, he actually would. That is the
Jason,
thing
have you ever
he
stayed in a
okay.
Drury?
He likes being. Yeah, he's got. Yeah, put on now.
I look like I'm the subject of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Why is that?
I don't even know what that means.
I'm being held hostage by cats, so
The
That
usual.
helps.
not far off.
Drury. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I never thought about it being a hard word to pronounce, and now it's all I can think about.
I'm sorry.
Like me saying I'm from a rural area. Like it's just why? Why would you do that to me? My
Mm.
mouth,
Mm.
the R's don't do
Make
that.
my
Mm.
mouth move that way.
I'm really just waiting for the Twitter thing to pick it up. And
I
then
was
we'll
I was
start.
checking now to see if it
Yeah, I
had
just
gotten
looked
triggered
too.
yet. It's
Mm.
live on the incomparable.live or the incomparable.com/live. Hasn't
The
gone
secret is
live.
Jason actually does those tweets.
He
Oh
doesn't.
no!
I
Every
made the work.
time-
I made the workflow. He doesn't do those.
And since he's here, he's not doing the tweet. So That's why it's not working.
Jason
I
was
get
the
it. So
robot all along.
the black cat was like the silhouette of a robot. I see.
I love that you got all of that from just the words "the
The
cat,"
cat.
I'm
because that still wasn't enough context.
I'm operating on a level.
You are on some level involving barks, which has bite.
It does.
Oh, why it didn't tweet it? It should have tweeted it.
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
Well, if you want to tweet it independently,
Independently.
you can do that.
Is that-
I don't know why it's
showing that I don't have faith in your system.
He
Green Party.
Hey,
tweet.
sorry there. I had to make some tweets.
Oh, that
I
scared
make
the
it
crap out of
myself.
me.
I didn't even get around. I was literally looking for a link to copy because you asked me for it, and then you appeared, and that was
Tony responded
creepy.
faster than you. Tony
Okay.
wins.
Tony, you win. You have to do the
Congratulations,
tweets
Tony.
now.
I'm working on the tweets right now.
The
Other tweets.
automated
I could, yeah,
tweets.
I could send a tweet. I'm just here. I'm supposed to go to the airport, but not for the traffic's not bad, so I don't have to go for like 45 minutes to pick up my daughter at the airport. So
That sounds like the most terrifying thing.
here I am.
Airport. We'll get there. Airport. Schmidt.
Well, you're picking someone
Picking
up.
up.
picking up
versus-
is that's true.
Picking
That's a
They
different story.
can wait. Important Zooms.
All right. I'm sending the tweet. I'm tagging you all. You can retweet it if you want.
If
But
you
we'll start.
dare.
Can I
All right.
delete it?
Please don't delete.
Tuesdays, Tony.
All right.
Mini Madness.
Mini
We have
Madness.
We have nine people watching now. We might have a few more ones actually. So now it's on Twitter. You never know. Welcome people to a very informal bootleg only live show that I totally threw together the idea for as kind of a soft wrap up to the season finale of Dog and Pony Show. There won't be any specific description of previous week's events, so don't worry if you're not following the Dog and Pony Show or don't want to be spoiled.
We
but
should
I'm
have a little shout out to Jane Ritt who suggested this because it was Jane Ritt's idea
And
for
then
sure.
didn't
Sure.
show up.
Yep.
a,
Also.
a classic Jane Ritt / Glenn move.
Well played.
And it feels like Dog and Pony Show and Dark Sun both completed seasons just this last week.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Very
it's an auspicious time of year.
No more D&D, anybody. It's done.
No more D&D.
Finally found our way out.
Yeah, we got out. So my buddy Brian Lingus, who plays in one of my, I guess, in-person groups, though we haven't met in person in several years, Zoom groups, but a non-podcast group. That's right, people. In addition to all of the Dungeons and Dragons I run for podcasts, I also run some Dungeons and Dragons for people who are just my friends, which includes Brian Lingus. And Brian Lingus said, "What do you want for the next adventure?" And I was like, "Well, if you want to spend some money, we could buy some miniatures." And he sent me $100 worth of miniatures.
Wow.
Before you get too excited, miniatures are expensive, so it doesn't go quite as far as you think.
500 minis.
Yeah.
Miniatures.
So I have several boxes of these miniatures. If you're not familiar with it, the way these are pre-painted plastic figures from the Wizards of the Coast people, so they're official miniatures. They are specific to a setting, or even in this case, an adventure. So these are Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus miniatures. And the way it works is you get a closed cardboard box that has several miniatures in it. Each box has 4 miniatures. I have 4 boxes that I'm going to open tonight, so I'm not going to do the math on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 16. There's a mix of like big miniatures, which is a funny word to say. To combine big
Gigantic
and miniature together,
miniatures.
and mini miniatures. But I don't know what's in the box. It's like baseball cards or Magic the Gathering, where you open the box and then you may or may not be excited if you get something that you think you could use or you think is cool, or as a duplicate of the last box you opened.
Is it
but
like
yeah,
a
we'll do that
Wonder
in a little
Ball?
bit.
Is the cardboard edible?
I don't know what a Wonder Ball is, but
Oh.
no, the cardboard is not edible.
Drat.
Miniatures have been around in Dungeons and Dragons for a long time. People used to have I think they were lead. I think you can still get lead
I have
miniature.
a box of lead.
You have some
miniatures,
lead?
Tony.
Tasty.
I think I think we basically
Mm.
moved away from that from a safety and cost point of view. So everything is painted. But you may have friends out there or seen people out there on the internet who paint miniatures. And I will tell you, people who paint miniatures, they look a lot nicer than the pre-painted miniatures that are coming out of a machine, I assume. But one of our friends, Dan Evan, does some very, very fancy miniatures.
Yes.
But yeah, so let me just ask, because I am curious, as a dungeon master, I have a lot of miniatures. I have boxes and boxes of them. It seems like it is a thing kind of specific to dungeon mastering in terms of like, you need things to have a whole set piece and have armies and squads and to rotate through miniatures so you're not using the same miniatures over and over again. Do you players have any miniatures, or do you have a miniature you want to share with the camera? What do you
I
have?
have a story. I have
Oh.
a story. Jeopardy! The other night, there was actually somebody who was at a D&D themed wedding, and they gave the wedding party miniatures of the people in the wedding party.
Oh,
And I
that's
thought
so
to
cute.
myself, oh, Hero Forge desperately wanted a shout out right there, because Hero Forge, the place where you can get 3D custom minis of anything. I've never played. Oh no, that's not true. I played D&D once in person, which was half in person. It was that one where it was me and Tony and Dan and Scott at Dan's place.
Who was online for that? Was it
Steve and Erica and Aline?
Because it was Dark. Was it Dark Sun?
It was.
It was
I don't
Dark
remember.
Yeah, it was Dark Sun.
So anyway, let's start here with I got Carlos.
So this is Hero Forge. We're not a paid sponsor, but they're a website where you can go and design your own miniature. And I think they recently added color, which is very exciting.
Wait! Oh, you're spoiling the.
I'm sorry.
So that's Carlos, the dwarf who's a mole, and his hammer and all that. And that was the first one I did. And then I started getting these as like little, almost like
commemoratives.
Yeah, commemoratives of it. So this is Nis.
Oh, I didn't know you had a Nis one. Nice.
This looks so cool.
And Nis is in color.
And Nis is in color. This is Peter Dragonforge, not in color, but looking very dashing with his big sword and his shield that's got let's just say Bahamut on it. And very important that this character has a backpack, because that factors into Dragonforge and Associates, because it falls in the mud. And then everybody, it's Cool Cat.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
With his boomerang, his joke boomerang.
It's too bad
color.
Hero Forge does not support giant mascot heads as an option, so you have
I like to think
an extremely proportionate head, as opposed to how I imagine
D&D is a little less frightening than Cool Cat in reality, quote unquote. And then I have two other very high quality miniatures of one is of a D&D character. This is my Furion, made by James Thompson.
Nice.
He assembled the entire party for the TPK UK, and then I said, "Oh, you should send those to people." And he said, "Okay, I'll make duplicates," because he was going to keep them, but he also made duplicates and sent them out. So I've got this great Furion. He's got the apple from the tree that we killed, and he's got his little cloak and all of that. And then my other mini that I have is it's Magnum PI. How'd he get in there? I don't know. That seems like a mistake.
From when I assume you and David and Philip Michaels play the Magnum PI role-playing game on weekends and don't record it.
The Magnum RPG. It's great.
Well,
I wouldn't and you shoot them.
I wouldn't have even counted it as a mini, but I do have my Tony Mint Lego fig, the James Thompson.
Oh, the DM Tony. That's
maker.
Good.
The DM Tony.
Nice.
I always feel a little bad because I feel like the visual appearance. So he wears a tie. I used to wear a lot more ties. He doesn't have glasses because I think the year that I was running that, I was trying to wear contacts all the time, and I kind of gave up on that. And I have dramatically changed my haircut since then. So I feel like I have failed to stay consistent with the miniature, and that's mainly on me. It does come with a parrot to represent the parrot that lives in my house, a rat to represent the rats that I make players fight, and then a map to represent the maps of dungeons. So, and James did, people who, if you haven't seen these, perhaps you're a recent addition to Total Party Kill, or just haven't gone to our website. James did basically like custom Lego, I don't know what you call them, set pieces for every scenes for every episode of TPK UK TPK. That's kind of hard to say. And they each include a parrot as kind of an Easter egg on there. And I did not know that James was doing this, so he showed me this, and I was like, oh, I just want you to know the parrot's actually green, not red. And so he had to go in, and he chose to go in and Photoshop the parrot to the correct
he recolored the
color
parrot
in all those scenes.
The details.
He's like, he was like, I wish you hadn't told me this, because now I have to do this. And I was like, I don't even know you were doing this. So, yeah.
I don't.
That's amazing.
The only one I've got on here, and I have trouble because the camera is not, I think, good enough to see it. This is my Kenku Rogue from the aforementioned Tony does a podcast or a D&D campaign. That's
Not a podcast.
But this is my Kenku Rogue Whistler, who has a cool mage hand effect going on there. Sadly, not in color. I have like a voucher for a free color Hero Forge, but I keep just being like, oh well, who do I want to make? And I get stuck.
I used
totally.
those.
I know
used
I didn't.
those
I've
on my too,
I've hoarded mine, and I feel stupid for that because I should have them, but I haven't needed an in-person miniature in basically forever.
No. I've literally never done it. Which is actually emblematic of my D&D experience as a kid, where I had a bunch of books and stuff and never played. Just rolled characters and read through the monster manual and never actually played a game. Yeah. So now that's how me and miniatures.
Which
that's,
is consistent
that's how it works.
with Brian, the guy who sponsored these miniatures. Also
again, these miniatures brought to you by the Brian Lingus Charitable Foundation for Tony should have more D&D stuff in his small apartment. Thank you, Brian Lingus.
What are friends for?
Yeah. So most of you, I don't know. I'm assuming a lot of you, your D&D experience at this point has been highly, if not maybe have tipped the balance almost exclusively virtual. I will say miniatures are nice to have if you play around the table. Just I think a lot of players struggle without having some visual frame of reference, especially if you're doing combat and you want basically a visual representation of what's going on. I think a lot of people get very they get anxious, or they get strung out, or they get confused if you're just verbally describing a scene and not using some kind of things. Now, of course, you don't have to use fancy miniatures. Lots of people use Legos and stuff,
Yeah, exactly. I had started a campaign right before I got the job and moved to California. So we ended up having to not do that. But when we had started, I was using paper miniatures, like paper craft. So there was like a paper craft chest and paper craft trees and paper craft goblins. I have those somewhere. They're tucked away in some folder somewhere. So we didn't have the plastic stuff, but that worked just fine.
I went through a whole arc of that, of like little paper squares, and at first they'd just be black and white, and some of them were printed color printer at my work color printer. At a previous jobs, you can't get me, and then I would switch to doing the little tent, 3-dimensional stand-up ones.
Well, I had a little stand. I remember running a one shop once in the last 10 years that I made the little stand-ups. You printed them out and you cut them in strips and you make a little triangle, and then in order to weight them, you put like a penny or something on the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah,
I taped a lot of pennies,
and that's why they have to make pennies every day at all hours because of you, Dan.
Because of Dan.
I did it.
It's his fault.
Keeping the zinc mines in business, Dan. Well,
me and Abraham Lincoln.
Aline, what about you? You're more of a dice hoarder, is my sense.
Hoarder is such an accurate word, Tony.
Well, maybe. Sorry, I know that is a pejorative term. The difference between a hoarder and a collector is like a display case, I think. So
I don't have one of those.
That means James Thompson is a collector. I don't think
but
so.
only in the sense of that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
The difference is he's no longer a hoarder of Lego. He's a collector of Lego. He's a hoarder of display cases.
Yeah. I mean, basically the difference is, are the Legos on the floor or are they up? That's the only difference. Yep. My Legos that's a collection. They're on they're on shelves. Yep. Like, you can't
do a shelf
anymore.
Shelf hoarder. That's what you are now.
Yeah, our apartment is small, so I don't have a lot of room, and what room we have, much like James Thompson, is taken up by Lego. We have a bunch of like city block stuff. So we have the Chinese movie theater isn't even built. But we have like a haunted mansion, and we have like a whole bunch of stuff that's Lego, and there's not a lot of room for minifigures in my apartment. So
I hear you.
Someday,
I did.
like,
I got the Lego blacksmith shop, which is like $150. Don't tell anyone. Somebody was like, "Oh, you could use that as a set
cool, though.
piece for D&D," and I was like, "Sold." So all I needed was 2 excuses for this.
I was gonna say,
I mean, multi-purpose.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if I could. Let me see if I can actually bring this up for a second. I made obviously in Hero Forge. This is my Omlal figure.
Oh,
which I haven't.
That's
I've
not
never
what
made.
I pictured.
I
it
know,
looks less
but
like
that's
Cookie
not-
Monster than I thought.
I know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's what he looks like.
A lot less blue.
I got an Omlal, and then I think there's I believe there's also a Crucible in here.
Yay!
And
Oh,
That's a
Cruci.
Crucible.
people, I will tell you, even if you never use Hero Forge to
It's just fun
buy
to make
miniatures,
these.
it's fun to make them, and it's it can be a nice place to make basically
Your
an
token.
an exact version if you want a printout or an image on your character sheet or an image in Roll20 or or just wherever you need it. I think of it as basically the like official character creator for D&D and other it also does they've got options for non-fantasy things as
I will say I struggle a lot
you know?
more once they added color because the choices became so infinite that I would struggle.
Mm.
Color is not my strong suit, and I was like, oh no, I could be here forever coloring all these little fine details. But you can spend as much or as little time on it as you want, I find.
I am still really struggling. I don't know what Shara looks like, and I've been trying for like 6 months to figure out what Shara looks like, and I just
it's hard. Sometimes sometimes the confines of a character builder, like or I've even used like different avatar creators for other social media tools and things like that to make character art, and sometimes it's like, well, that doesn't exactly look like how I imagine the character, but at least it forces me to think in a certain way. Oh, here's
Ajguri Lone Walker
Oh, yeah,
Mako
yeah.
Tatahani.
yeah,
That seems right.
I
like
love
it.
his
That guy.
hair.
Yeah.
I
so
love it.
much.
That's
That
great
guy.
hair.
I like the detail on the hammer. That
And the
is
shield,
fancy.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
it took
sometimes
a long time on the shield.
I found myself inspired sometimes even just
That's really
by the
good.
images in D&D Beyond that they give you. Like there are characters I've built because I like, or like personalities I have fleshed out because I looked at those like image. I play a Furbolg in another campaign that Tony runs, and he's like a total like
Tony
surfer
doesn't
dude.
run that many campaigns. That would be a mistake.
But his personality entirely came from the image where it was like a dopey looking dude, and I was like, oh, he's gonna talk like a surfer dude the entire time.
Bruh.
Wow. Are you guys saying that I need to commission original art for Dark Sun? Is that what
A
you're
little bit. I mean, our last
We-
art for that was like pixel art circa 2013,
Done by a very
14.
generous reader.
Yeah, it's
So,
great, but it is definitely
No, okay. All right, I'll put it on my list. It's because we did it. I'm very happy, right? With the we've had commissioned art. You guys have commissioned some art, and
Yeah.
I've done a little bit, and it's not that expensive, and it's beautiful. So
Yeah.
maybe I should do that.
We have
all I have to say to you,
actually,
Jason.
it's not
is-
true.
Jason, the dog
That's all I have to
and
say to you.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Actually,
dog
we do have,
straw.
we have an
Come
artist. I
on.
forgot. We have an artist who offered to do. I need to check back in with him. A professional, published graphic novel artist who wants to draw the Dark Sun crew.
Wow, that's
But,
amazing.
But we haven't
Alright,
quite
Where'd
gotten
you-
there.
I really need to get Shara
And I
figured out then.
I think in the Google Doc where we all put in our information, Aline has a big TK
yeah,
for Shara. So
yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah, all right.
And on the dog and pony side, we have gone so far around commissioned art that we've commissioned art of villains now. That's how out of control things are.
I
right.
commissioned that Smurgle sandwich shop art. I mean,
That's true.
it is definitely a thing that you can do.
It is somewhat addictive where like once you do it, you're like, oh, I could have art of this, I could have art of this, I could have art of this. And where do you stop? And the answer is you never
You
stop.
don't.
Well,
You
the
just
answer is
keep adding art.
I'm working with somebody on commissioned art of Tony right now. So
Oh no.
Of
All right.
Tony?
it's true.
Well, are you stealing my identity now? All right, I'm just gonna tell you, I've been holding this box of miniatures that I've not been opening for about 20 minutes, and I couldn't do that anymore. So
No, they got to get to the fireworks factory eventually,
Yeah.
right?
I am opening the first box of miniatures. So I will tell you, I was a little surprised even how this is arranged. There is a very large miniature in here. And then there are 3 little miniatures in little bubble wrap things, and I can't even tell what they are. So I have to do some more work. Bear with me. All right.
Some unpacking music, please, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves.
Picture
All
of
right.
Strahd that we have is a magnet.
It is amazing.
And it is on my fridge, and
It's
I
on my
subject
fridge, too.
everyone to it.
I keep mine by my chair in the living room, and
Just so you
it makes
can
my
look at it from
husband
time to
very
time.
uncomfortable.
Oh, my wife
And
my
it's
wife loves the
hilarious.
picture on our fridge.
Who is
So-
this?
Oh.
Oh no,
Mm-mm.
she knows
Those
Strahd.
cheek-
She knows Strahd.
Oh yeah.
Charismatic
Oh, my
Strahd.
Justin only knows because I call it hot Strahd. I'm like, oh, the hot Strahd picture is askew, and he's like,
A-
what is happening?
A little hot pastrade miche sandwich, if you will.
Oh my
Oh no!
word.
Whoa, what is
All
this?
right. So this is the
Oh my
big
gosh.
miniature in the.
It's got
so,
flying.
yeah. Now I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. These are from Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus, which is an adventure where you go to the top level of hell. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
it's pretty
playing
bad.
that.
It's just the
I'm
top
playing
level.
that on and off.
Watch
yeah.
out for spoilers, Jason.
Yeah. I mean, there may be spoilers, I guess.
There's a
in
flying
terms of
yellow
character
thing.
names and stuff
Spoiler.
like that. I will tell you, these tokens have a name printed on them, but they are printed on transparent plastic, and I am having a heck of a time trying to read them. So I may just show them to you. But I guess I'm not surprised there's a variety of kind of demonic and devils creatures present in here. Avernus, top level of hell. It is a battleground between demons and devils, which before that adventure, I had never gotten too worried about what the difference is between devils and demons. And you know who really gets hung up on that is devils and demons. They don't like it when you mix up one for the other.
You know what?
Yeah.
I know we can consider this a spoiler for Descent into Avernus, except for one thing, which is they called the thing Descent into Avernus. So
Yeah. So
kind
you
of
know
gave
you're
it
gonna go there.
away.
Yeah.
Sort,
well,
sort of gave
you
it
know.
away. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So here's my my first box, which has some kind
that
of
yellow guy. What is that guy carrying? He's got a shield. He's got a.
I'm sorry. Are we sure it's a he?
Sorry,
I don't-
I apologize. What is that?
What
Creature.
is that
Creature.
thing?
What is that?
this creature.
What's that?
Monstrous thing.
This creature
Oh, he's got
has.
They've got like a.
What do you
glaive?
call that? Yeah,
Like
like a double lance.
It's a Balrog.
You know.
That looks like a Final Fantasy weapon there.
It does, yeah. It looks like a weapon that may not be
Also
super
It's not
functional,
practical.
but very
Great
intimidating.
hat. Great hat.
Really good at picking up noodles, actually, though.
Yeah.
that is handy.
I'm a little unclear how much of that is horns versus hat.
Versus hat. It's just
something-
horns
there's
going through a
Where's
hat.
the
something-
label, Tony?
It is printed in transparent on transparent. I don't know.
Almost.
I think it says the large or greater something devil. Something devil.
Okay. Yep, that's
I
definitely
was
hard
just
to
That's a
read.
wondering
devil.
if you could put a piece
Ah,
of paper or something
yeah.
behind it. To make
The
it
greater
clear.
lemon devil.
Yes. Lemon devils.
Oh, very sour.
I used to get lemon devils when we go to the movie theaters.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Just make
Yeah.
your mouth pucker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so sour.
Except in the South, where they are lime
Oh, yeah.
angels.
Right. Yeah.
Lime
I mean,
angels and lemon devils.
and they're
yeah.
sweet. It's weird.
It's for religious reasons, yeah.
I'm missing the cultural reference, but that's okay.
No,
So
it's
that's the-
I was thinking of the ding dong thing from
Oh.
last night, where it turns out that
Mhm.
in the South the ding dongs are
Oh.
king dons.
King Dons. So there's
So
that guy.
weird.
This appears to be so there's 3 little miniatures with it. Some kind of little devil, kind of goat.
Look at the detail on the
appearance going on.
tail. The
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah, I would
Ah.
say, the plastic minis, the paint jobs are always a little simplistic, but sometimes the sculpting is really impressive. And I think this fellow here is a barbed devil.
Oh, good news! I think I
He's
found
very spiky, green, giant cleavers.
I have
So
to
your
go,
first one.
Oh no.
but
But
because
safe
I have
travels.
to eat my dinner and go to the airport. But I'll be back
I'll be
Next.
back.
Next time.
Tuesday night to play D&D with you.
It's true.
Bye.
What did you find, Dan?
Tony, I have found the page that lists all of these.
Oh,
That
okay.
first
What do you got?
one is a Legion Horned Devil.
Oh,
Ah.
that makes sense.
So not lemon.
And then we've got one that's like a green person with two
meat cleavery things.
Two meat cleavers. That is a Legion Barbed Devil.
Mm-hmm.
We've got that little blue one.
Goat fella, as I'm calling him.
Goat fella. I think that's a Bulezau.
Excuse me?
Bulezau. Bulezau.
That sounds slightly more like a demon than a devil.
They're like crouching,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm not sure who this person is. This looks like it could be an adventurer.
Sword.
Yeah.
All right. I think do they have like a red?
Yeah, they do.
That is Rhea Mantlemorn.
There
you go.
I don't know who that is, but presumably a named NPC from that adventure. So as a person using miniatures, when I'm looking at these, there's always the like, does this fit something? If you're going to run Descent into Avernus, there's obviously, this works out great because you can use these for the actual things they represent. But if you're not running a specific adventure, you might want to be like, does this represent something else I can use in my game? Does it have to be a devil? Is it some other winged flying monster? Can I kind of match, some other thing to what I'm doing just to have that as a thing on the table? Yeah.
That happens.
Look, Robert Watkins was also pulling up Yellow Dude is Horn Devil, Large Fiend, Monster Manual, page 74. Thank you, Robert Watkins. All right, I'm opening another box because I can't stop myself.
Also, in the Incomparable members Slack, there are some people sharing some minis.
Some minis? Oh, I love it.
In the TPK channel. So Adrian has showed off a mini that was 3D printed and painted for them. That's a pretty awesome
for them
mini.
Or by them?
For them, by their DM.
Mm-hmm.
That is
I'm not
cool.
That's putting pressure on me to do that kind of thing.
Oh man, that is some.
Yeah, Tony, what's the deal?
Tony, this is some Evan quality work over here. I have to say.
Okay, that's amazing. Whoa.
Is it I think it's a Warforged with like crossbows on their arms, which is dope.
And look at the like snow.
Yeah, the snow is what got me. That is that is so detailed.
I like their hood.
I don't have our friend Evan, who I guess can we divulge is Jane Ritt's husband, is
gasp.
Spoilers.
Jane. He made me a mini for a campaign that Tony ran years ago, but do I have that mini for a character I played for many years? I do not. I was not allowed to keep that.
Technically, he made you one. He did not give you one.
Yeah, he didn't give it to me. He just kept it.
All right.
And I like that Robert has two sizes of the of their dwarven druid, one that's full size or larger size
after drinking a potion of giants. He says after drinking a potion of giant size.
I see.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
Okay, that's
so
amazing.
That is is that a reareoccurring thing that happens that you have
They
a
said
dedicated
it was
mini for
right
that
before
situation?
their climactic session.
Oh, so you needed the I get
that is so fun.
That's
all right.
Awesome.
I have opened the next box. I guess
a 3D printer.
I'll start with it. Does seem like 3D printing minis, and especially I don't know. I used to do some 3D modeling. That's on my list of like retirement things. It's just like I'll just sit around to design minis all day for people.
I convinced Leo to pre-order a 3D printer for Twit. And so at some point when it arrives, I'm going to use the heck out of it.
In the truest.
Test it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, look, well, it was because for our club, we can set up like a webcam that they can watch things being printed on it, And so we've got like Club Twit and all that.
It's literally like watching resin dry.
Right. It's going to be so boring, but I'll have fun. This doesn't go to Leo.
So boring people will love it.
The truest tradition of slightly misusing work resources.
Yes.
I've been there.
Printing stuff at work. Never heard of it.
The greatest work resource is inside yourself. The next big miniature here. Dan, maybe you'll pull a name for us. Wow. This is I would describe him as spooky looking spike dog. I am reminded there's
say hyena, but
hyena looks like
Yinogu's Hezru.
Yeah. Which I look at that and I'm like, that is a miniature you could probably use in a lot of situations, whether they're a demon or maybe even just a really scary werewolf or
it's similar
a variety
to your
of things.
bone golem
Seems
almost.
flexible.
That bone golem you made up and tried to kill us with, remember that?
I
two
do.
Of them.
Good times.
Bone avalanche, remember that?
You remember feeling bad about that a little bit?
This guy, I assume, is a villain, but I feel like could be an extremely dramatic player character mini.
That's
Bernie
Head McMasterson.
It is a spooky looking guy. He looks a little bit like he might be a Twi'lek or something, but his main signifying thing is that he has a chest plate that looks like a skull with glowing eyes.
So that's a rare, Tony. That is Olanthius.
Oh, nice.
What does that mean if it's a rare?
So in these boxes, there are common, uncommons, and rares. So you're going to get duplicates of your commons and uncommons before you get all the rares.
I do have to say you haven't. I'm looking. I have the whole list here, and I want to say the one that I'm most looking forward to, though I don't know if you'll get, is I kid you not, entitled Mickey the Flesh Golem.
Well, I don't know who I don't know if it describes this person. But the next miniature is this guy who looks kind of like a person. No,
that's not. The Mickey the Flesh Golem looks much weirder.
All right, this is a kind of a swirl of meat that looks kind of like it's half microwaved.
That is a lemure, Lemure.
Oh, yeah, those are spooky, not good demons. I believe they're demons. I apologize if I'm getting demons and devils mixed up. Again, I look at that and I'm like, that could be a variety of creepy undead creatures. That could even be like an in-between mini you use when somebody is being horribly transformed or distorted by magic. And the last one in this box looks like a kind of angelic or demonic kind of figure.
I was just DMing my group yesterday, and one of my characters was doing some sorcery and ended up triggering a wild magic surge and ended up polymorphing themselves into a sheep.
Been there.
Great moment.
That last one is a Legion Aaron. Yes.
Say that last part again.
Legion Aaron. Yes. ERINYES.
I don't know. They look like they could be a demonic or probably not angelic, but looking
cool though.
Figure with these
sort of crimson
wings. Yeah, it seems like creatures in flight is a theme in these tokens. All right, I'm moving right along. Oh, this is very exciting. This one, I am just thinking about adventures that could be done. Let's see here. Got to clear some space on the camera here. I think you all might recognize this this miniature. I believe you would know its co-worker, at least from the Curse of Strahd campaign.
That's a
nightmare.
That is a nightmare. That is
it's so pretty.
That is also a rare, Tony.
That is so cool.
And I've never seen this before.
I want one.
This is a horse. It's a black fiery horse, and it is set up. It's got kind of a weird indent in the back.
It's because you can put a dude
so that I can put a miniature on it.
There's a specific dude. There is a specific version, I guess, that comes with that you can put that on.
Okay. I'm just opening up the three other little ones.
Its mane and tail and
I apologize.
Forelegs are.
This miniature came packaged in a different way than the other ones. There's little bits in here instead of it just being a shell.
Interchangeable saddle, I think.
Yeah, and there's
like a back. There's like a back that goes in, and then you can take that part out and put a guy on.
So there's a guy. So there's a saddle that I could put on, I guess, if the horse is just running around, or there's a guy with a giant flaming sword.
Oh, you got that? You have that guy too. Okay, that is. I guess.
He seems to have come packaged with it.
Well, it lists for me Nightmare, Narzugon, and then Narzugon on Nightmare.
I'm just kind of fitting him together like little kind of Lego pieces. So
that's cool.
So this is one
now I'm
miniature.
just imagining Bucephalus as rendered by the artist we've used for all the other artwork. Mm-hmm. And I think we need everybody to go to the coffee so that we can get that artwork funded. What's that coffee again, Tony Sindelar?
Okay.
You've got too many professional podcast hosts here who
I
can
know.
do impromptu ad reads. You know what's great? You all know miniatures. when you're playing some D&D, you love to see what you're doing, what your creatures look like, what your
these
characters
miniatures brought to you by a generous gift from the Brian Liggis, Tony's Friend Foundation. But if you think Tony should have more miniatures, you can go to this coffee or KOFI. It's ko-fi.com/tsindelar. It's my name.
You could also go to
give me money.
GiveTonyMoney.fun, GiveTonyMoney.fun to
Micah,
get to that same place.
Micah, did you just register a domain?
Did I register a domain and set up a forward in the middle of us talking? Yes, I did.
All right,
because I'm a
works
professional
great.
podcaster.
It already works.
GiveTonyMoney.fun.
That is impressive.
Is that what professional podcasters do?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. No, there's like a test you have to take, and one of the things you have to be able to do is you have to be able to set up a domain and forward it.
All while not
live
giving away
on the
that you're
show.
doing it
Right.
until you do
Live.
the reveal.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm playing with this miniature because it's very compared to all the other miniatures, much more complicated because it comes in parts. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there because it's small.
Legs?
It is, and I was like, "That's weird. I wonder what Dan will explain about that." And then I opened the other parts and figured out it's the legs.
It's the same guy.
It's the same guy who rides the horse, so he can either be there's basically a set of legs of him on the horse, or a set of legs with him standing there. And then
how do I cancel viewing your screen? Because with that, I can't actually see the minicam.
Tony needs to stop.
Sorry.
How's
There
that?
we go. Now I can see it.
Yeah. So you got a guy with a flaming sword next to his parked flaming horse. I will say that's pretty cool. Again, you could imagine using it's a specific thing from Avernus, but Strahd von Zarovich rides a flaming horse. You could use that, even though the guy at the helmet doesn't necessarily look like Strahd von Zarovich. You could use that as a big bad in a lot of places.
It's Strahd in some great armor that he borrowed. Yeah.
The next one in this box is a little halfling looking guy, maybe a gnome or a halfling with a sword, a little short sword.
That's
I look at that and I see that's that would probably be a great miniature for a player character or for an NPC. I will tell you, I'm always looking for good miniatures for player characters because adventurers like to have miniatures, and in my kind of sets of miniatures I keep them kind of in collections. That's the difference between a collector and a horde, so I'll have like a Ziploc bag full of undead looking things and a Ziploc bag full of goblins and orcs, and I have a separate little Tupperware box of player character looking miniatures, and whenever I start with a new group, it's like we just dump them out on the table and people pick through, because it's like people want to have like their miniature that represents themselves. Does that person have a name?
Scarla True Strike.
Oh, okay. And the fourth and final mini in this box is this scary, weird looking skeleton. I will say the guy who's split into legs and torso, a little easy to knock over, which kind of takes out some of the drama. But
Flick.
Yeah,
I think that one, Tony, can you move that one to the forward?
Yeah.
There? Does they have like a spear or something in one hand?
No, this one just has creepy red.
Okay, so that's a different
claws, but then he has kind of like a Roman legionnaire looking helmet.
Oh, a helmet. Okay, he looks.
Or maybe it's.
Oh, there he is. He's That's Babao.
Oh, nice to meet you.
There are two versions of that, and apparently a different version where they're carrying a spear.
I will say I'm just this horse with the flaming rider is very neat, and I have not seen any other miniature like this. So I'm kind of.
How's that one spelled?
Which one? The
Babao.
Babau.
I like to look them up on D&D
Beyond. Baboo.
And see what they look like.
Bababooey.
Oh, that one's terrifying. It's like it's got the mouth of like an anglerfish.
Oh, great.
And then it's got that sort of scorpion tail head thing.
Yeah.
And it's just bleeding all over.
Oh, great.
What a mess. What a mess.
What's your deal?
Come on, get yourself together.
All right. I'm just putting my torso and saddlebags for my nightmare over here. All right, we've done what? 3 boxes? Do we do one more?
One more box.
And so far, I say jinxing it, no duplicates yet, which is
Oh, why'd you do that? Now it's a box.
Duplicates are not necessarily bad, but in fact, I mean, if you think about it, think about how often you fight monsters in squads or in small groups. So having a couple similar looking monsters is not, in my point of view, a bad thing, right? It can be good to have a bunch of goblins or devils or whatever it is.
Bows, if you want a bunch of bows
all right
running around.
Oh, isn't Babao an elephant?
Bow.
I was like, we are on a ticking clock for Dan making a Babar joke. All right, this is
Such a good book.
Interesting. This I would describe as like Dinosaur Gladiator.
A comic I think I read in the 90s.
Oh yeah, that was everyone's favorite Valiant comic.
Yep,
Dinosaur Gladiator. Yeah,
that is a Dinosaur Gladiator.
That's a cool sword.
Purple skin, spear. He's got that kind of old-timey Roman gladiator look with the
that is a Legion Ice Devil.
Ice Devil. Okay. I will tell you, this is his spear. This happens with plastic minis. Spear's a little droopy.
Yep.
But
it's hell. It's hot. Stuff melts.
Stuff melts.
You gotta deal with what you got.
I got 3 more miniatures tucked in here in my little Boxo minis.
I will tell you, their face is actually far more disappointing. Like the helmet really,
like you get why they wear a helmet.
Yeah, you wear a mask for a reason. It's fine.
All right, this guy, very intimidating looking, would be great for a spooky high level player character or a big bad boss. Another guy, noticing flying things and flaming weapons seem to be a theme in Avernus. So we've got this guy here, and I don't know if you can see Dan. He's got like a glowing mace that he's got over his shoulder there.
That's pretty cool.
Is that maybe Haruman?
Oh,
Haruman.
I'm familiar.
Although
with
the picture I'm seeing is has a slightly different weapon configuration, so I'm not.
Now is this and that's different from the gentleman riding the horse?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Okay. They look like they hang out together. This guy, I think this is not a repeat, but it looks like a similar devil.
Oh, yeah, it's another one of those.
It's another barb devil, but this one with he's got a fire in his hand. I'm just pulling. Here's the other.
Yeah, it's
barb devil.
It's another Legion barb devil.
So, and it's interesting. They're similar. It looks like it's kind of the same sculpt, but they then instead of a second sword, this one has fire. And again, I think having duplicates is not a bad thing. You can have a bunch of enemies ganging up on a group. And I got one last one little guy wrapped in here. Ooh, I like this guy. This one's very tiny, very delicate. Let's see how well they show up on this camera here. It looks kind of like a very mean purple bat, but clearly some kind of devil or demon.
A Legion spined devil.
Oh, nice. Oh, I have fought a bunch of those. So lots of devils and demons in this mix, given the Avernus setting. Several spooky clad people in armor with flaming swords, and then a couple undead and a couple player character type miniatures. So stuff obviously that would be great for the Avernus setting, but I also think things that you could theoretically use in a bunch of different settings, which that's what I look for with a miniature. It's like I don't want a miniature just for one thing. I want to be able to reuse it with group to group. So yeah. Dan, thanks for looking up the stuff as we went.
Sure.
Because reading Transparent on Transparent,
I will say, Robert in the chat pointed out that most devils are fallen angels that served under Asmodeus, who himself was a fallen angel. They fell from good. Still big believers in law and order with them on the top.
Yes.
And, I guess it's pronounced. Oh, Micah, you looked it up. It's Aaron-Yees.
Aaron-Yees, yeah.
Aaron-Yees. For that one, yeah.
Yeah, didn't mean for this to turn into a demons versus angels dispute, but or demons versus devils. But there is the main thing that kind of differentiates them. I think this might be a gross generalization. Demons, chaotic evil, whereas devils tend to be lawful evil. So devils very into contracts, and demons more
super into
contracts. Yeah. So
that's what I would say about lawyers.
I was gonna say we've all met a few.
Yeah, you've met a few. So yeah. Well, I think we've gone actually over my expected time. So yeah, this was Tony opening a bunch of miniatures on a YouTube stream, as joined by Total Party Kill players like Dan and Micah and Aline. Dan, Micah, and Aline, thank you for being here. I've got more boxes, so if you think this was amusing, whether you watch live or watch the recording later or listen to the bootleg, let us know, and we might do this again someday, or we might not.
Give TonyMoney.fun.
That's
Tony
the incomparable promise.
We may
Give
or may
Tony
not do
money.
this again.
Yeah, and if you, I have boxes of miniatures I haven't opened yet. But if you think Tony should have some miniatures, more miniatures, you can give me small amounts of money at giveTonyMoney.fun, a URL that Micah just set up without talking to me about.
I thought briefly about just tweeting the link, giveTonyMoney.fun, but then I thought people would think I'm into like some crypto coin.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the new crypto coin,
or that I've been hacked. And why is this person asking? No, I just probably need some context.
Well, I'm amazed there are over 25 people watching right now, which for watching us open boxes of miniatures and talk about monsters and D&D and stuff is kind of fun. But I hope you, if you have not recently checked out Total Party Kill, our recordings of our actual play sessions, that you will check that out. So yeah, all kinds of people in the chat. I appreciate it. So goodbye, nerds. Dan Morin, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Tony. Good hunting.
Micah Sargent, thank you for being here and registering domain names on the spot.
No problem, Tony. Anytime.
And Aline Sims, thank you for being here.
Yeah, this is fun.